Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm the guy, if you can't tell the difference between us, who is identified as old, tired, gray, and bland. Well, I'm going to show you old, tired, gray, and bland, all right? And I'm not going to cover anything I did in the past. State Street Mall, Capitol Concourse, Monona Terrace, thousands of units of public and affordable housing. I'm not going to discuss some of the major events that have taken place in the city in the last 4 years, like getting Cap East District started, finishing off the 700-800 blocks, or dealing with the incredible low, in fact, we were the worst city in the country, housing vacancy rate, and adding close to 5,000 new units that have either been constructed or are under construction now. But instead, I want to focus on what we've accomplished, because old, gray, bland, and tired has done a lot. We participated with the county, and we worked together, and now we've got the Rethke project for 110 new units out on East Washington, which is going to house some of the worst cases of chronic homelessness in our community. We've launched a $25 million 5-year program over the next 5 years to create 1,000 units, utilizing unused previously WIDA tax credits and the new opportunities in TIF, which, if we don't get any significant increase in the number of homeless in the community, should eliminate homelessness within the period of this construction. We reestablished the neighborhood resource teams, and I'll get to in a moment to some of the things that they've accomplished. We've joined in 3 national efforts, which has kept us in the forefront with the group of My Brother's Keeper, the President's Initiative, Cities United, and the Racial and Equity Social Justice Consortium, which is working with cities like Portland, New Orleans, Seattle, the Twin Cities, on the challenges of making sure that young African American and Latino men are integrated economically and educationally into our society. We've got an award-winning summer youth program that we jump-started last year and suddenly has caught on within the community, creating another 650 jobs in the next 3 years because of a generous donation from the Rennebaum Foundation. And speaking of that, through my efforts at working with the private sector, we've got a commitment of $1 million in cash to create 200 jobs for adults in the next coming years. We just finished off a disparity study, which is in the news. We've collaborated with the school district on out-of-school time, dealing with those valuable hours when kids are either after school, on the weekends, or during vacations, not doing enough, which furthers their academic achievement. What else have we done? Well, one of the major things we've done is we've got some efforts to improve the housing stock in the city. We kept pressure on the Woodlands, forced its sale, and now seen substantial improvements there. We've increased the library outreach. We've created an NRT budget to fund community engagement activities in focused neighborhoods. We spurred the purchase and development of a community center in the Hammerly-Teresa Terrace area. We expanded the Meadowwood Center. We made a major addition to the Meadowwood Library, and now we've got Griff's going, where we're going to create up an employment center for young adults. We've created an outreach worker for kids at Brentwood. We've gone further than that. We've worked in the Madison. Time's up. I got a lot more.
Today, Madison is missing opportunities. We don't live up to our potential. I take a look at cities across the country and what they're doing to be cutting edge. I take a look at Burlington, Vermont, which is doing more in sustainable energy than communities around the country. I take a look at New Orleans, which isn't planning of ending veterans' homelessness. They've actually ended veterans' homelessness. I take a look at Virginia Beach when it comes to childcare, affordable housing, in Oakland, in Seattle, when it comes to what they're doing with their library systems, Miami, which when the state said no to rail, they were able to find a pathway forward. And I look to see where the city of Madison is today. I take a look at the 41% increased homelessness population in the city of Madison from 4 years ago. I take a look at the 14 individuals who are sleeping outside of City Hall, their possessions stacking up, and I find that absolutely unacceptable. Yes, housing first is the right strategy, but the approach that the mayor's putting forward is going to take years before we see incremental improvements. We need a new men's emergency shelter. Not today, we needed it today, but we're not going to see it. We need a one-stop shop to corral all services in a central location here to our downtown. We need to take a holistic approach that includes drug counseling, healthcare, job creation, and therapy. I take a look at what the issues the city of Madison is plagued with racial disparities in our community. And these are conversations that we've had in the 1980s, the 1990s, in 2002, in 2009, 2013, and we're still having them once again today. And what I did was I started to listen to the faith-based leaders who didn't feel like they had a voice in this conversation. And they identified 4 areas for us to focus in. 1, they said we need to do something about childcare and 24-hour childcare. And what that means is seed resources to make sure that localized daycares can open up throughout our city and that we have more scholarships available for students who simply need childcare. We take a look at it and we know what the research shows. If students are entering the Madison School District on equal footing, they have a better chance for success. 2, it's about transportation. We take a look at where the transportation has gone in the city of Madison, and we no longer are a top 10 bike-friendly community, but what this is about is how we connect the downtown to the rest of our city, to make sure that we fully fund programs and jobs for transportation, to make sure that we have strong public transportation networks. It means we have a jobs program that follows Portland, which says 3 words: innovate, include, and invest, where we ensure that equity isn't a buzzword, and we talk about jobs that we can create and economic development that supports everyone in the city of Madison. But we can't do this if we have a polarizing city government. When our county executive can't work with the city council, when the county executive can't work with the mayor, when the mayor's office can't work with our city council, when we're fighting our partners, this is what collaboration is about. And if we don't have it, it holds the city of Madison back from what our true potential can be. This is why I'm running for mayor.